Good evening. Welcome to Late Nights in East Los. We're Kill the Bullfighter. For the children. Can we get a little bit more monitor, please? That was Will Win. That's sort of a song about progress, a song about change. And how change is here and fear of it. This next song is called Business of Freedom. This song's dedicated to all those movements that were stifled by our government, specifically around the COINTEL Pro years, right, counterintelligence program, that sought to destroy the Black Panther movement, American Indian movement, Brown Berets. This one's called The Business of Freedom.
Changes that need to occur, for the influence of societal change that comes from our barrios to the world. Our heroes and our heroines risk everything to open our eyes. Keep them open, because the shit show is ongoing and it is being televised.
Thank you.
We're on.
Yeah, we're on. Welcome to Late Night Cinislos, folks. Thanks for tuning in again. Another Tuesday night, 9 p.m. Pacific Standard Time via latenightcinislos.com. That takes you now to our YouTube channel. Thank you so much for your support. Make sure that you are hitting the subscribe so you get a notification every time that we go live. And apologies for last week's cancellation. Really, it was completely out of our control. Unfortunately, the artist wasn't able to make it, but he will be back in January. Third Eye West, a shout out to you. Thanks for letting us know that you weren't going to be able to make it. And welcome to Kill the Bullfighter. Awesome performance. We don't get very many rock metal sort of bands here. Usually it's milder, but pretty awesome. I was actually out there at the parking lot and I could hear the practice. Do you need like something to dry up?
No, pero me voy a quitar la pintura right there, so it's okay.
Yeah, for sure.
Thank you.
So welcome. Thanks for awesome performance.
Thanks for having us.
Make sure that you are tuning in and follow them. It's their account on Facebook. It's linked to every promotion that I'm making. Make sure that you are going to like them. Kill the Bullfighter, please introduce yourselves.
My name is Aksayakat Machikatsin, a singer, screamer.
I'm Raul. I play the drums.
And I'm Adair. I make noise on the guitar.
Do we need water?
We're good.
More
We're good.
water?
Yeah,
All
thank you.
right. How long have you guys been Kill the Bullfighter?
Five
Five
years.
maybe 5 or 6
Since we-
years.
Yeah.
Yeah, long time in the
Yeah.
scene.
And we played in a different band previous to this one.
Same members,
same
under
members.
different names.
Just different
Different
name.
Yeah.
Why
a
the
different
change?
style. Our style, I think, changed a little bit. I think we evolved. I think we've been gigging for many years. But we grew up in the Boyle Heights backyard punk scene, and we've been around. I mean, my earliest gigs were '88, since '88.
Whoa.
And then I used to bring them when they were like in 7th grade and 6th grade.
Uh-huh.
Just come watch the bands play.
Oh, cool.
And eventually they got to know the guys and started playing themselves. And then 10 years ago, I think, we started playing.
So we're like same age, 36?
Brother, nephew.
Yeah.
A little younger.
Thank you. I'll take 36. I just turned
14.
45, actually.
45?
I just turned
Cool,
45,
man.
yeah.
45 is the new 30. So
The new 18, bro.
Good, I'm 21.
we're all getting that, right? We're getting there. It's funny because I was listening to your conversation earlier. I was like, man, the joys of growing old and getting to go to the doctor with always these weird medical procedures.
Start to fall off.
Right? Seriously. What's have been some of the major gigs that you have played?
Guitar Boutique.
Yeah, right. When I saw you, I actually thought that you were related to Yao Masawa. Do you know?
No, but we just play with them.
Oh, you just
we
play
play
with
with them
them?
often.
Uh-huh.
It's on the ground, right?
Yeah, it's
Yeah,
like
yeah.
underground. I was like,
Yeah.
whoa, what's going on here? Like cousins.
No, we played. Ooh, we go way back.
Yeah,
with
they
them,
also way back.
Before
yeah.
they even had a band.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Mhm.
I remember y'all in Bulldogging back
I
in
don't know
the 90s.
Yeah.
And my other band,
Wow.
we played with them. Yeah.
What's the name of your other band? With these same guys? No, different guys.
No, before the band before was Te Sacrifico, Boyle Heights also,
Uh-huh.
and we played many shows with them.
Similar project, similar
It was
music
more.
style.
There were two singers. More death metal. It was faster. It was a little bit more aggressive.
But you're that, and you consider metal now, right?
Metal, I guess. Yeah.
Yeah. It's kind of difficult to define the genre, but somewhere along the lines of metal.
But it's different. It's sort of similar. You know, it's like a protest type of music.
Yeah, yeah.
How did you come with? Who came up with the concept of this new project as Kill the Bullfighter? And okay, go ahead.
When we got together, we started doing this stuff. We wanted to bring out a story of what we experienced in the barrio. We grew up in the Liso Village housing projects, and we lived there for 24 years. 24 years, 73 to 90 some. I was the first one born here, and so there's a lot we wanted to share in hopes of inspiring or giving hope to somebody else, just as we were when we used to listen to bands from Orange County, from other parts of the country, hearing their message and thinking, okay, there's something else outside the barrio, something else outside the negativity that we're witnessing. Even though there's a lot of positive stuff in the barrio, there's a lot of negativity. And when we grew up, it was when crack had hit, around '88. So we witnessed most of our friends killed, and we buried most of our friends, and those who are still alive are lifers. So personally, I lost friends and family. Well, I'm at 34 now. So most of the people I grew up with were killed.
Whoa.
Yeah. So we did our best to persevere, and we want to inspire that in kids and other people to let them know that they're not alone. We suffer like they do. It doesn't matter where you're from, black, white, Asian. We all suffer the same.
Yeah, of course. Do you participate with local schools or other local, like for example, you said you just played with Aslan Underground. Who was the organization that put that show?
It was
together?
Chicano Records and Film. It was Yao's company, Yao's crew. It was a thanks-taking, call it the thanks-taking.
Correct, yeah.
We've also done the 4th of July, several 4th of Julys with them. And we
We did the Mexica New Year 2 years
Chico
ago.
New Year 2 years ago,
Oh,
Nacho Passage.
okay, yeah.
And,
I usually participate for that as a vendor.
Oh, right on.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, we did many fundraisers for Standing Rock
Okay.
when they were going out there, and on the Gathering of Elders in San Pedro. We get anytime there's a fundraiser for indigenous things, we're very privileged to participate, and so we consider all those big shows, even though many of them are small. But the fact that we get to play and contribute, is,
That
you know.
that is also my perception of big shows. You know, within our
Yeah.
own community, which is events that happen at Self-Help Graphics for the
Yeah.
standing
Oh, yeah,
rock,
we
for
did one
example.
too.
Oh, you did there.
We did one
Yeah.
too.
The
Couple
one
years
with
ago.
the Mini Wikoni, the poster with the.
Yeah, Mini Wichoni. They had the first.
Oh, you
standing
were
rock-
there too?
We played
yeah,
that
I was
too.
there. I was there. I went to the concert and Yao's son actually was. I think it was his first performance. or something?
Yeah, and I think they played him at Mariachi Plaza before that. Yao's kid.
We saw
yeah.
him there though at the South Hall Graphics.
They were
for
also
sure.
there last Friday.
Oh, okay.
They had to perform. Yeah.
Cool,
It's
cool.
two of his kids, right?
Yeah,
Yeah, two of his kids performed.
really good performances too.
Yeah.
Why the name Kill the Bullfighter?
Okay. Look at that. Everyone answered. They point at me. At the time, several things. Number one, it's kill the oppressor. Number two, at the time I was a pescatarian. So I wasn't eating meat, so it was a kind of a vegetarian, anti-meat eating thing too. But the big thing is to kill your oppressor.
I see.
Yeah, kill the oppressor. Yeah.
I-
Or whatever is holding you back.
Okay.
Eliminate it. Yeah.
That's a cool analogy. I hadn't thought. I actually thought it was like a protest against what is it called? Taromancy. Taromancy, right? That's the official name.
Oh, the
bullfighting.
bullfighting.
Oh, bullfighting.
Yeah. I mean,
Yeah, actual bullfighter.
well, in a sense, we are the bull trying to fight,
We're trying to
Fight
kill the
by-
bullfighter. Yeah, we're the bull. Yeah.
because, half the time the bull doesn't win, but when he wins, he wins.
He was big. Yeah.
Yeah.
Whether the bullfighter be government, church, your boss, your personal relationships, your abuser, whoever that may be, it's basically a sign of resistance and hoping that the bull will strike the death blow that we're all waiting for.
Nice. How many records do you have as Kill the Bullfighter, or how many actual records do you have as a musician?
We have
He's got a
one EP.
criminal record now.
The criminal
I thought you were
record.
laughing because you were gonna say like 100.
There was a little vacation in '95.
We'll go with the 100. That's fine.
Actually,
We're in the process of recording our first.
we're the present recording our first.
Yeah.
And other bands, 7 inches, demos. We don't really do anything huge, anything big. But for this one, I think it's our first big effort to put something down. I think we're doing 5, 6 songs.
6 songs. So we had the same guys under a different name. We had a recording, but like he said, it wasn't something that we take as seriously as we do now. So we're in the process of recording this current one. It's gonna have 6 songs, and when it's available, probably early next year, it'll be available on all the main outlets digitally and for free. So that's kind of one of the things we pride ourselves
Also,
on.
yeah.
Whenever possible, give everything away for free.
We grew up in punk rock. It's always been a movement, not a business. So we don't sell anything.
Okay.
Yeah, we
I
give
wasn't
away
aware of
everything.
that. That's pretty cool. But how do you finance then?
Our jobs.
Your jobs? It's
Yeah.
all self like this. So like personal pro bono. Sort of
Yeah.
thing?
Because when we were growing up in the scene, coming up with $3 to get into a backyard was hard.
It was hard.
And
That's when Big Brother comes in.
yeah. So still, I need money. I got to pay my rent.
For food after this.
But it was difficult. And growing up in that scene is where we learned, because punk rock, the values, right? You give everything out, you give everything away, right? And with the Sacrifico in our older band, we were just getting invited left and right. So how'd you get our music? Oh, somebody dubbed the tape, and gave it to me, and then been there playing in Mexicali once like that, and everybody had a bootleg in Mexicali, which was fucking awesome, right? And our last show was in Mexicali.
Oh, cool.
And it was fucking huge. It was fucking huge, and it was cool to meet so many people that are so interested in the music. And I think everything that we had, we gave out. I gave out my jacket. That's just how we are. That's what we grew up in. So for the music, we won't sell it. We'll never sell it. Yeah.
I think what's more important, rather than getting dollars back in our pockets, I think it's better that the word gets out. And for us, that's priceless, and we take a lot of pride in being able to kind of self-support stuff. But if the word gets out, it's better than anything coming back to us financially.
Cool. Dang it, my question just fled. What is your social media? Where can people find you, connect with you, and find out where the next shows are going to be?
He's a minister of information.
On Facebook, we have Kill the Bullfighter, and also on Instagram, you can hit us up on Kill the Bullfighter. and that we have a show. We actually have a show coming up at the end of December on the 29th in Montebello. So you can look up the address and everything on there. There's going to be quite a few bands like Los Faunas. They're local.
They played
played
here.
here,
actually,
yeah.
Yeah, Los Faunas, Pedestrian Strike, and some pretty cool bands.
I don't know them yet, but I shall.
Yeah.
Pedestrian Strike.
Pedestrian strike.
They're a punk band out of Montebello,
Montebello,
so
yeah.
they're the ones putting this one together. So it's a bunch of local bands. So like Los Panos be from East LA as well. So punk, garage rock, us, metal, just getting together for an end of the year gig at a house. So,
Are you allowed to disclose the location yet, or not yet?
yeah, it's on our Instagram.
It's on our
already.
Instagram.
Yeah, on the flyers.
On the flyer, yeah.
And what do you guys do that you're able to finance all these projects? What does your
I don't know if I want to
mild,
say. I don't know if I want to
your mild manner alter ego?
I work for an environmental agency. I'm a geologist. I oversee the cleanup of soil and groundwater contamination.
Cool.
And so I've been doing that for about 15 years.
Locally?
Yeah. It's all Southern Cal, mostly LA County. And then other jobs took me to, I worked on the Mojave Reservation for a while. I worked at Hinckley, where Aaron Brockovich, where all that came out. I worked there for a while. I worked several sites. And so now ultimately I'm in an office and don't get to do too much field work, but
Do your coworkers know?
very few know.
projects.
Very few know, and that's why I'm at my back to the camera. Very few know, and I don't. There's not too many people. It's not that I don't trust them. Is that I don't think they can relate. And fortunately, a lot of the bands the guys that we do hang out with, the guys who lived, a lot of those guys are either in bands still, or a lot of our friends from those back in the day, they're still around. So we hang out with them. Kind of keep the circles different, apart. I don't really share too much at work, so they don't know my.
They do now.
What about you guys?
I cook for a living. I've been working at a convalescent home for like the last 11 years now, and just have a little side business making Indian Mexican food. We're called the Spice Bites. Everybody wants to check them out.
The what?
Spice Bites.
Indian Mexican food?
fusion. Yeah.
Oh, are you Indian Mexican?
No, I'm just Mexican, but yeah, we do a little
What are
fusion
some
action.
of the dishes that you would call fusion?
Well, we have these tater tots that we make, and so instead of using salsas, we use chutneys. Chutneys are pretty much Indian salsas. They're tamarind based, they're mint and cilantro based, masala cremas, and that's what we do. We just try to do a little bit of both. We make tacos. We have a masala taco with chicken, and we put, instead of salsa, we put chutney on top.
Do you have is it a truck or is it a pop-up?
Right now we're just a little like a pop-up. So we pop up at different breweries and stuff like that.
You guys got a gig coming? No?
Yeah, we actually do have a gig possibly the 8th at Backstreet Brewery, if anybody, out in Anaheim, if anybody.
I'm not familiar, but you should hook up with our boy Sneaky Entertainment, and he also organizes a lot of events around breweries. And I mean, you're welcome to come to the artwork tour.
Yeah.
Here. That would be a great idea to have something like that because there's nothing similar. What about you?
I work in education. I'm a high school counselor. I've been in education for the last 15 years or so.
Since out of college?
After grad school, yeah. So that's what I do.
Cool. Educators and music. Nice. Do your coworkers know?
Some know. I mean, they know that I play in a band, but as far as like all the details and stuff like that, I'm like him too. I like to keep the world separate. Not so much because of the coworkers, probably more because of the kids and parents and stuff like that. It's good to have my own circle, my own fun. Again, not so much anymore probably, but it's cool to have two different worlds and be myself away from work.
Have you ever bumped into students at random shows?
Not my own shows, at other concerts and stuff, but not my own, not yet at least. So thanks for jinxing us.
What do you do? That you just like,
Well,
let's get out of here. Let's get out of here.
well, no, well, they're there. Well, yeah, you know.
see
We
Put
gotta
the
move
joint away.
forward.
Let's go.
What you said that you have a show. It's on the Instagram and your own personal gig. If you ever want to come to the show, just to present your food and bring some samples, perhaps. You know, we would love that.
For sure.
What have been some of the most satisfying moments that you have had as a band working with the community and talking about mentoring and how you want, it's kind of like, I believe that art heals, and I've heard from certain musicians that also grew up in East LA how the music scene sort of saved them, right? And like how their peers were
Us
also,
three.
you know,
Yeah.
they got involved in gangs, and
Yeah.
so a lot of them are
Yeah.
dead. And thankfully, you know, these people ended up with the band gigs
Mhm.
in high school, and that's how they, you know, now
Yeah.
their lives were changed.
Mhm.
What are some of those experiences similar that you have?
For us, it's people telling us we like what you guys talk about. Like finally, somebody saying something either about life in the barrio or about politics. We are pretty hardline in our beliefs, and so when we speak, I don't hold anything back. And no matter how crazy I get with saying shit, there's always somebody. It's something like the last show I had an elder come up to us, a very well respected elder, and said your words were good. I mean that alone for me was like, oh shit, wow, that's been pretty heavy to have an elder recognize us and what we say. Was pretty awesome. We don't get that often, but in communicating with kids either by Instagram or on emails, or there's little things that tell us words that are exchanged that tell us keep going. You're connecting. Somebody likes you. Somebody likes what you said. Somebody is thinking. Fuck about time.
That-
Yeah, I don't know if I answered your question.
There, I feel that because of because of current administration, and even a little bit before that, I feel that there's more pride in coming out like as an indigenous person, indigenous identified. There's more openness to listening to these ideas, these words that perhaps before they were like, nah, you know, like what they call them, conspiracy theories,
yeah,
right?
yeah.
And it's like, no, like this,
Yeah.
it's true, you know, it's really happening,
Yeah.
and it's sad that we all kind of have to go through a really bad time so that we can start catching on to the realities that
Yeah.
other communities are already
Yeah.
living, right?
Yeah.
What about you guys? What experiences have you had? Any personal experiences regarding that?
Well, as far as the music, it's like you said, the music heals, the music saves. It was a distraction from all the other ills that we were exposed to. But for me, I think one of the big things that I take away with from the shows, like I said, all of the events that he mentioned earlier, probably what stands out to me the most is when I have an older person come up to me or somebody that says, hey, you know what, I don't even really like your guys' style of music, but it was something about what you guys did and how you performed that made me feel something. And probably one of the best comments I ever heard was a lady in about mid-50s or so, and she said, you know what, it was when we played at the Lincoln Park at the Plaza de la
Oh
Raza.
yeah, the Zapata March.
Zapata March in Lincoln Heights, and she said, you know, I came kind of pumped up with this energy, and after watching you guys, like, I don't feel angry anymore, you know, and I just have this release and watching you guys rock out and doing your stuff, and I thought to myself, well, she feels what I feel, so.
Do you only sing? Do you play instruments? Are you only
I just play on the
drummer?
drums. Yeah.
And I've always yelled in all
As
the bands.
voice?
Yeah, always been the voice.
Con trabajos, I do this, so.
Well, we have a pretty big board right there. I think
It's just lights.
it's just for show.
Yeah, play it. For what?
Yeah.
How long did it take you to assemble it?
There's little parts from when I started as a teenager, like till now. So it's just as you grow and you mature and the sounds change, and you know you add some stuff, you take some stuff out. But this is probably over the last, like I said, a couple things from as a kid, but the rest of it, the majority is probably the last year and a half.
Some vintage items there.
No, a replica of a vintage thing or two vintage things, but nah. Like we said earlier, most of the stuff goes into the little that we can afford to spread out. So sometimes getting the fanciest equipment isn't really the best option for us. So things might look fancy to us, but a lot of stuff has been gifted to us as well.
Cool.
Yeah.
Who writes? Who composes? Arranges?
Come on, brother. Look at us.
I figure there's someone that writes. You know, like someone.
I have an idea.
Some papers.
Okay, play it. I'll rock to it. Hey, scream something to it. And that's how we come up with stuff. But we also, I'm sorry, go ahead.
No, I was just saying. So like lyrically, it's all him. You know, musically, it's any one of us can start. Sometimes I'll have something recorded on my phone and I'll send it to him. Hey man, check this out. But he's pretty creative too, and he'll say, I can hear something like, but he kind of verbalizes it to me, and we try to make sense of it, and it's just kind of putting Frankenstein together. That's what we call it. We put all these pieces together until it feels right, and it becomes a song.
And then we
Power
review,
up.
and then whatever, if we jam in practice, whatever, we'll every weekend we're together a lot. We're together a lot, like a lot. And so I hang out on the weekends over a couple joints. We'll replay all the practices. I like this part. I like this part. What do you think about this part? Can we do this? Can we do it? And we're mixing and matching all night. Let's play this. So we practice. We put them together, and then what do we like? What we didn't like? So we're constantly reviewing our stuff. And then it never fails. In the middle of the day, I'll be in a fucking meeting, and he'll fucking text me, "Hey, check out this part I just recorded." It's like, I can't listen to that shit right now, dude. Right? And then he'll chime in. He's like, "Oh, okay, we'll practice that, and I need you to write lyrics to this." And that's how it goes. It's always been that way. There's really no, we're gonna sit down, we're gonna make it a song. It's never been that way.
And you do your own recording and your own mixing and your own mastering?
No,
At the Shelter Studios out of East LA.
Yeah.
That's where we've been doing most of our recordings.
Hey,
It's the
Caesar.
the practices we just do. We get our phones out and we record ourselves, and that's what we do. We just we go back and we play them on like our Roku TVs and stuff. And like I said, we listen to parts, and then we'll like there'll be a part that that sounds good, but then the part you were just jamming that doesn't sound so well, but the part you played after that would sound good there. So like you said, it just Frankenstein different things, and that's pretty much what
all
we
by
do.
the iPhone. Yeah.
All over the phone.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Welcome to 2018.
Yeah, it really is. That's what's changed in the last year and a half is that phone, the iPhone, I guess you want to say it. Like, you just have to record yourself because you never know. Like, back in the day, it was the tape. You would record tapes, the riffs, but you didn't know what you were playing, so if you don't remember the notes, well, you have to go back and try to figure it out. So now with the video,
You
you
can
see
just see
everything.
You see the hand movements.
You see the hand movements, everything that's happening, you could do it. And it's not easier, but it's a lot easier.
Well,
It's
we're
more
using an
efficient.
iPhone
Yeah.
right now.
Yeah.
Hashtag Apple Life.
Yeah.
We're not sponsored by Apple. By the way, we should be.
We would take one.
And
We'll
their-
take some
And
sponsors.
their stock went down, I think, a little bit. So
When we
you
send
might
these
want to be
iPhones.
careful.
Cool, man. Any advice that you have for aspiring local bands and there's always all these new, easily so packed with talent.
yes,
you know,
yes.
So
There's so
that-
much good
and,
music.
and I say that it's because of our ancestral blood that is so full
Right
of
on.
art
Right on.
and science
Yes.
that it's just coming out
Mhm.
in droves right now. What have some of the challenges that you have faced that you would take and give advice on?
The biggest challenge, I think, for us anyways, it was, do I want to be in a band or not? Do I want to start? Start. There's always somebody in the school, in the barrio, somebody that says, hey, I have a drum set. I have a bass. Well, I don't know how to play. So what? Just get together and start jamming. And then you'll be surprised how far it goes. And if they have the chemistry, the homies, and that just lends to it. That just adds a spice to the mix. Get out there and do it. Don't think.
Yeah, never be afraid.
Don't think too much. Don't be embarrassed. My first gig, we had the power go out several times. We used to play at this place called the Dust Bowl on Wabash, which is very well known for backyards. The light went out 3 times. My first song, my first gig. After that, people were just like they were walking out or putting lighters in the air, and it was like, oh my god, it's so terrible. But then the next gig was better. Then you learn to have fun, and that's the other thing. Have fun with it. If you're gonna make this a job right there, it's gonna suck. If you have fun with it, it just flows better. You do it for the fun. Don't do it to make. Well, you can do it to make money. That's on you. In the backyard scene, good luck, especially in punk. But get together, do it. Don't procrastinate. Just do it. You can practice. You can learn shit. There's videos. There's everything that's available now that we didn't have in the 80s and early 90s even, right? To do it. And then just go out and do it. Don't be afraid. It's cool. Everyone starts the same. Everyone starts the same. And you'll find the genre. You'll find those gigs that play the music you want. And also go to gigs in the barrio. Support those gigs. Straight edge was really big when I was younger. Straight edge saved my life. No drinking, no smoking, no drugs. That was part of it. And they played hardcore. And where we grew up, if it wasn't for that, we'd be dead. We're gonna find straight edge in Boyle Heights. Fuck, there was a scene. There was a fucking big scene. And we were in every weekend. And after a while, attending shows, we were playing them because guys got together and said, "Hey, dude, let's form a band. Fuck it, I play drums. I know guitars. We'll jam out." That's how it goes.
Is that how you guys started?
That's how I started. My friend Aldo, hey, what's up, Aldo? He's like, hey, dude, we don't have a singer. You want to try singing? I said, I don't know shit. Just scream to the music. And that's how I started. And then taking them, but remember, somebody showed you how to play guitar, right? Of a neighbor down the street? Or
Guy down the street, he showed me just kind of a couple of fingers, movements, and chords. And then just started playing on my own out of boredom or isolation. And he and I got together, and when we first started, he had something that was kind of a drum set, but not really. And I had a little 10-watt amp, and it wasn't very loud, so he would have it right next to his ear. But that's how it started. And so as far as answering your question, I would tell anybody that wants to play music or that's currently playing music is not be afraid to be different. You know, I meet a lot of younger kids that say things like, oh, I want to sound like Pantera, I want to sound like Nirvana. And I'll say, well, people want a Pantera, they go listen to Pantera, you know. But the bands that have stood the test of time dare to be different, you know. And so that would be my advice. Dare to be different, do your thing, make it come from the heart. Again, there's nothing better than that.
Are you open to more members?
Well, one of our bass players, he's on hiatus right now.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, he had a baby not too long ago, so he's take a break. But yeah,
We're looking for a bass player.
but if we're also looking for a bass player while he's on hiatus, so if anybody wants to play bass,
Yeah,
let us know.
There's a job opening
Musicians
here.
out there?
there's a missing spot right here, right
Yeah.
now.
Cool, cool. Any last words that you would like to tell the audience?
You brought up something when you were saying how the resurgence of pride, of cultural pride. Every now and then I give a plática at Northridge. I have a friend who teaches out there, so I'll give a talk on environmental justice or and he is in Chicano studies. And they were telling me that when Trump took office, every Chicano studies class was impacted. They had to add professors, especially the Nahuatl classes.
No, interesting.
And to hear that, it's like that's fucking awesome, right?
That is awesome.
And it brings back something that's in our ancestors have taught us is in the positive there's always a negative, and in the negative there's always a positive, and you have to find your path. And so, what is happening now, it's tough for us. It's tough in the barrio. There's the ICE fucking running around, the Gestapo, the DACA students, all the negativity is happening. Find the light in it, and educate yourself, and don't be afraid. Don't be afraid to speak your mind. There's laws in this country still. You're still protected. Even still, say what you want to say. Go out and at the same time participate. There's so many. If you're looking at the TV and look at all the kids getting gassed on the border, there's so many organizations, agencies that you can send money. You can go help out. Do something. Don't just sit there. Do something, or get a band together, and go organize gigs to raise money.
For sure.
Or bring clothes for elders. You can always do everything in the water. There's a lot of elders that need to be fed in the water. That need clothing. That need to be just talked to. You can go to a nursing home. There's so many things you can do to help out your community. But your backyard, your community, and then the world.
Cool. Love that. Well, folks, I'm going to let them close out the show with a couple more songs. And I'm going to remind you to please tune in every Tuesday at 9 p.m. Pacific Standard Time via LNiEL.com. That takes you to our YouTube channel. If you're a local band, a local artist, a local poet, a local entrepreneur that would like to come and be featured on our show, please make sure that you send us a message via latenightsinizlos@gmail.com. That's our email, or you can send us a message via any of our social media. That's Late Night Sinizlos on Facebook and Instagram for the moment, or you can reach out directly to me via my personal business, which is Quetzal Boutique, and you are welcome to come join us every second Sunday of the month at the Easterly Art Walk. The next one, it's our final for the year. It's called the Holy Days Mercadito, and that happens on December 9 from noon to 6 p.m. We're going to have 3 performers. The first one is Innocent Man, who was also performing here a few months ago. We also have 2 more bands. Let me see. Oh, yes, Midnight Motives. Shout out to Midnight Motives. They're going to be playing at 2 p.m. Another singer actually just signed off who's going to be playing at 1 p.m. So we have performers 1, 2, 4, and 5 p.m. 4 performers for December 9. Make sure you come support our local artists, crafters, and entrepreneurs. There's going to be lots of vendors, affordable pricers, recycle the brown dollar. That's a hashtag, because the only way that you can make any country great is by strengthening its domestic, its communities, economy. Keep it local. Make sure that you are buying from mom and pop shops so that you are not contributing to some CEO's third or fifth or seventh vacation home and Jaguar and you know what I'm talking about. So please, independent, keep it local. And we'll see you again next week via LateNightsInIslos.com. Thanks for watching, folks. Keep the Bullfighter. Take your way. Enjoy.
Thank you.
Rock on.
You heard it!
That song was called Privilege. And looking back at our lives, we feel that to witness all the negativity, and I'm talking absolute madness, for a while it seemed like we were privileged to see that, because we can't relate that to many other people. But it did make us very compassionate, and it did make us understanding of the problems that exist in our neighborhood, right? Aside from overcrowding, aside from the drug use, mental illness, it was pretty brutal. But within that, within all of that, there was still a life. There was still a beautiful life, and that's what we'll always call the project home. This next song is called Slavehead. The song's about free will.
Bear witness. The witness. Rise, the rise, the rise, the rise, the rise, the rise. Rise up, action! It wasn't God, it was me. Free will, free will. It wasn't God, it was you. It wasn't God, it was us. It wasn't God, it was us. It wasn't God, it was us. It wasn't God, it was you, me, us. God didn't suffer for our grandmothers. God didn't suffer for our grandmothers. God didn't suffer what our grandmothers did.
We're cool?